Hey, what's going on? This is Mr. Dave on the rock pile. We are in Poway. We are moving forward. We got the demo taken care of. So the pool company, Gardner Pool Plaster, came out here and they demoed all the rest of the plaster off. They got the deck all done. So all this concrete, they did like a chain gang, and they had guys throwing it up the stairs. Guys are amazing. They did it in like a day and a half. They got all this stuff out of here. Absolutely amazing. So we are finishing out the last of the shaping. We're doing waterproofing and we're doing some texture coating. We've actually done some texture coating up on the top here, and you can see the waterproofing on the slide right there. So that is ready for the final coat on there if we were ready to jump onto that. A couple little things we're still doing. We got to thicken up the wall on this these anchor pylons on the grotto, so we're going to be thickening up these walls right here on these columns that were pre-poured. And you can see the popcorny kind of places. We got to poke a little bit of mud in there, some cream mix in there, build things up a little bit right in there. But a lot of this irregularity is really kind of rocky. It's kind of cool, so we're going to be utilizing that. The inside here of our grotto is looking really good. We've got the benches all dialed in. They're ready for plaster, so that's going to be a regular plaster finish, whether it's Pebble Tech or regular plaster, I'm not sure. And the pipes that we have going down in this bench, our return lines to pull water, are going up this wall right here. You can kind of see that fake rock column right there. We've got our hose coming in, our little skylight. Yeah, it looks like a square porthole. Got a place for lights. The customer can put those in. And this whole wall we're going to texture and give some cracks, some stratification. We did a little bit of that over here already. Again, that's just using this mortar mix, and that's basically spec mix with some acrylic admixture from Sika. Acryl 60 is another one you could use. You can kind of see the cracks that we just threw in here. This is just sort of while we're covering up the cracks and the mist areas, we can throw in some rockiness, and then we're going to be spraying stuff on here and adding more to that as well. So we have got the grotto ready just about. Stuff like this. Ooh, right in the bucket. These kind of little places we fill in with the mortar mix too as well. And again, that's just the spec mix down there. So let's take a walk. You can see these columns are a little ripply, so we're going to cover those up like we're doing over here and get them nice and thick before we put our waterproofing and texture coat on. So the pool is all plastered off. Our satellite rocks are nice and ready to go ahead and waterproof where needed and texture coat. Again, these are just rough carved in shotcrete, and so you don't have to be too crazy. Here's our slide trough, and it is going to be a blast. It is going to be so much fun. And so with that slip sheet underneath it, that's the plastic, so this whole slide can actually move in and out, on and off the structure of the pool, so it won't crack right in the middle, because that's where you'd expect it if you attach it into this thing, or at least you put those physics into play. Sometimes they don't, because I've done them both ways on smaller slides, but this one's just so big. And there's our fake rock. We're gonna have the slide, or the waterfall rather, coming down around and then breaking and splitting. Some will go into the slide trough and some will come off this spot right here. And I'm gonna play with that weir right there and see if I can get it to pitch out and have a little edge, and so the water will go out and not just roll down onto the surface. And this is a weir here for the grotto, so it's going to well up over there and come into the pool from there. So let's keep on walking and keep on talking. Got our plumbing in the back here ready to attach to our new pump. Probably going to be a 2-speed. This is the back section of the grotto. Again, just rough, really rough shotcrete carving, nothing too crazy. Needs some extra mud. We just make some steps so it's easier to get around and climb around these things. There's our portal from the top. Here's the beginning pond that's going to well up and dump into the little stream bed there, and you've got your drain. So this one, when it's turned off, the thing will disappear. All that water will go away, and will reduce the chance of the getting that bacterial process going. So, whoops, we'll walk around here, and so here's our slide going all the way up. I haven't measured it yet, but it's a pretty good size one. I'll walk up that here in a second. And here's the spillway. You can see we've modified it with some mortar mix. I also did some mixes with concrete mixed in to build things up, to try and create some peelaways, some pinch points right there. Added some more stones and boulders down in that way. Kind of reshaped some of these guys that wasn't able to do on Shotcrete Day. So you can kind of see that. So you can see where it's going to split and come into the slide trough a little bit, and the rest will go into the pool. The guys demoed off the deck, so there's an elevation of coming down here. So this deck's going to be up 3 inches, I think, right here. So the water's going to be right on the edge there, but I waterproof that and it'll be really nice. So this will be like a bench. You can see these blobs of cement that I added right in there and there and there, just to move the water around. And again, this whole pond basin has a drain over there, see it? So that can drop and pop out down here, so that's downhill for sure. So this needs waterproofing, but and then texture coat, and then we're done. So you can see all these little pieces I added, again, just to add some interest and detail. We've got this wonderful real rock right there going, just, oh, look at that, all that crazy stuff. Added some stones in here, and then I could have used real rocks and just set them in there, but I just went with some concrete mix and created a little visual block for the pipes that are in there. Some little 1-inch line in there in the back that's from the previous waterfall. So that'll well up, come around these cracks and drop through here and then down into here and meet the rest of the water that's moving through. We got our nice big anchor cornerstones that we added, and there's again those satellites at transition point, which is a nice place to put them as far as design goes. We got the real rock here. These are all real to the right, and then we got our added stuff right in here. Built that up, so this thing is ready for some texture. This rock right here has already been textured. You can see I'm trying to get some of that cool detail to match a little bit of this in irregularity and sort of eroding kind of a rock process of decay, you might say. So we added all these stones to the water course and going to have some very interesting things dumping down here. Big, huge waterfall, boom, hits here. There's a nice big crack between the stones, so that upper pond will drain totally into this one, and then this one has a drain pipe in it. And so that thing's going to be really cool. Going to have a lot of options as far as water flow as well. So again, these are the real ones that are here. This one's real to the right, and then we have our faux work that we're mixing in with this. We walk around this, kind of going around the bushes here, past these man-eating, crazy, very pokey rock or plant succulents. And this is the back of the waterfall. You can see how we've sort of cracked it out and folded it out a little bit with some mud, and it covers up the pipe that actually goes down and comes around and feeds the slide. It actually goes around this stone and into the dirt and across. And so did that little section yesterday, and so the details, and so this is pretty much ready just for a hose and paint, and it'll be done. And so that came out pretty good. Here's a real rock, and God makes the best rocks. Look at that texture, awesome. And this is the deck area that we poured in, just pumped it out, and then I troweled it down and made some big cool slabs with some nice big cracks in them. They have a lot of room to expand and contract. Comes all the way out to here, and this whole side of the slide has been done, and so we have the texture going on that real nice, I think. And there's our steps again, you can kind of pick those up, and just really fun. This is one of the parts of the process that are pretty rewarding, because you get to see things happen and just, emerge and turn into these apparently, seemingly age-old ancient boulder stones. So this is the steps, working our way up. And I use real rocks, big boulders, and I'll move these out of the way so you can see the texture on that. I use real boulders, and I place them in strategic points. One on the corner right here, and then one right in the middle right there. And they were establishing elevations. There's one right there under the blue hose, a real boulder. One in the corner up here, another one up there. And so that gave me some elevations I could use as a guide when I had the guy pump the hose in here. So he just pumped it in with the shotcrete hose. So there you go. You can kind of see how those came out, and I think they came out really killer. Really like how that looks, and just doing the crack thing, trying to get that authentic look. And I don't know, some parts, it's like anything. A lot of artists, will find something wrong with what they do. Like, oh, that looks good, but I don't like that part. So pretty typical. But most of this one, I really like how it's coming out. So this whole thing has been textured right here. These are done, ready for rinse and then paint. And these are done all the way up to here. And then the faces I do them intermittently. So we'll do maybe this one and then leave that one open, because we're using them as a way to get somewhere. So we're actually walking up and down. So you just break up which ones you're gonna do, and then come back the next day and do the ones, the opposite ones, you alternate basically. There's our slide, looking pretty killer. And this thing is gonna be a blast. It really is gonna be a lot of fun. So it is ready for the texture coating along these edges. We still have to do this portion and down on the outside. And but then after that, we'll be ready for the final texture, or slide coat, I guess you could call it. And again, we're under this ginormous oak, this massive, awesome tree. It's just beautiful. And so I'm gonna probably have to put up a net screen thing when I do the epoxy on there. And there's the deck work, which again, I just pumped it out of the hose and carved it, just blobbed it up, but I left those nice big cracks in there so you can have that expansion and contraction to get the stones to be able to move and settle and not have an issue. You want to direct where rocks crack, or cement, really, for that matter. Guy told me years ago that one thing about concrete that you can guarantee and count on is that it will crack. So the idea is to go ahead and figure out where you want it to crack. You got to tell it where. That's what the expansion joints and saw cuts and all that stuff are about. So, update on the Poway job. Looking pretty rad. I'm blown away by the crew at Gardner Pool Plastering. If you want to get a pool remodeled, replastered, they are amazing. And they just did a killer job. In a day and a half, they took out the entire deck. It was down here. All this stuff, huge 4 or 5 inch thick concrete deck. They got it all the way out here and up these 36 steps, which are a nightmare. So there's the waterfall again that we went over. That's where it starts. And that is going to be pretty darn cool. Start there, come down, make its way around here, and then down into the slide and the pool. And there's the grotto from up top. A lot of real rocks around here to try and match the color, which will be great. It's a good, easy color, I think. Gray and tans and creams. You can see this one's right in the middle, and you can see all the colors of the rainbow in there, which are really cool. All those oranges and browns and creams and tans. So that'll be fun to play around with some of that color. So anyway, so awesome. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and that you're enjoying seeing how this crazy project has been coming along. We are going to continue to work on it, and we will give you an update again. Hey, listen, if you want to learn how to do this, you can go to daverhenderson.com, and you can see my blogs there and links to my other platforms. And then if you want to get some free PDF downloads, so you'd be able to learn how we do this and the various steps involved and the way you might think about laying out a project and that kind of stuff, you can go to davehenderson.podia.com, davehenderson.podia.com, and that'll give you an opportunity to just download some free stuff, man. Check it out. They're some pretty cool little downloads that I put together. Some 18 pages and stuff, so some videos are really cool. So anyway, now the gardener has got his leaf blower going. It's so exciting. We will say hasta la vista, and God bless you guys. Be thankful, be forgiving, and make the world a better place with a smile, a hug, and that's a good thing. So anyways, we will see you next time. Mr. Dave signing out. Bye.